So you came here today because you're a little lost and confused as to what you should be studying during your time at university, correct? Okay, well, it's my pleasure to say that you're not going to be the only one, and you're not the only one currently. There are plenty of other students that are also in the same ship that you are. So why don't you, for starters, tell me a little bit about yourself so that way I can kind of better guide you down a path that I would feel is more suited for your nature. Okay, so currently you have no idea who you are. You have been suffering existential crises for the past couple of years, and just thinking makes you feel like your brain is being boiled within one of those, like, flasks. Okay, completely understandable. That's also a common occurrence within the younger generation. Well, in that case, I'm going to be pulling up a series of questions regarding your academic career that will gauge what exactly is your preferences and tendencies, so that way I can decide as to which majors you can kind of go for and try to narrow it down to just a couple, or even just one that I would feel would just perfectly suit you in your whole, like, agenda and whatnot. So let me just open up my notebook and open up to a clean sheet of paper. Okay. And then, so I'm going to be jotting down your answers to these questions within this notebook right here. So for the first question that I have here listed before me, for you personally, throughout your entire high school career, your own your own personal tendencies, would you consider yourself as someone who's more willing to work within a group setting, or a more solitary worker where you would prefer to kind of be on your own and get a job done or a project done, or with a group of people? Okay. Okay. And would you rather have a more thoughtful career, or rather a mental career, or would you rather work with your hands? So for example, would you find yourself more suited? Would you see yourself more suited within an office job or a job in construction? Okay. And would you rather have an environment that is more free, or would you rather have one that has more established rules and it has more of a routine to it? So would you rather have a job that allows you to have room for creativity and allows you to develop whatever ideas you want to have, or one that you know what exactly you're going to be doing that day? Okay. And lastly, would you rather have a job that has a pretty good amount of competition within it, stiff competition that, leads you to having higher opportunities, but you have to work for it? Or would you rather have a job that is much more simple and has a lot more job security to offer? Okay. Okay, excellent. So let's move on to the next series of questions. Now, for you personally, throughout your entire high school career and your entire, social life, would people often regard you as being a more logical person or a more creative person, or maybe even a balance of the both? Okay, that makes sense. I apologize for my stomach gurgling. It happens. And then, would you consider yourself more of like a risk taker, or someone that's much more preferring in like a safe sort of zone? Okay. And then, would you rather have a sort of fixed schedule where you know what exactly you're going to be doing, or would you rather be more bound to flexibility and have a much more fluid schedule that kind of works with whatever's going on, but also is quite, nothing's really set ever? Okay. Let's move on to the next series of questions then. Now, whenever you were working on projects at school, would you often take the initiative and establish a sort of time to get something done and get it done? Or would you be someone who was more inclined to kind of rush at the last minute and get something done? Okay. And do you consider yourself as someone who works by their mind or works with their gut feeling? Okay. There are some people that have a good balance, that have a good sense when it comes to both, so it's not like those two facets are often in competition or, kind of versing each other. I mean, they can really assist one another, where if your gut feeling is telling you something's off while your mind isn't, when you usually use your mind, then, you should go with your gut feeling in that regard. And never say to your gut feeling that it's just being silly and it's just a feeling, because sometimes your mind doesn't work as fast as your gut. There we go. Let's move on to the next series of questions. Okay. Do you personally feel happy when you are trying new things, when you feel totally prepared, when you feel totally in control, or when you're figuring out how something works? Okay. And does the prospect of helping others learn something appeal to you in any shape or form? Okay. That could include teaching positions, management, anything of the sort. Any sort of leadership position. Okay. Excellent. Let's keep going on then. Okay. So, back to high school. When you worked on a group project, would you often be the one who came up with the idea of what the group project would be about? Would you be the one discussing the details? Would you be the one keeping everyone else organized? Would you be the person doing all of the above? Or would you be the one that would kind of slack off and try to avoid the group project, whether it be for the fact that you're going to be working with other people, or because you just didn't really prefer doing a group project in and of itself? Okay. Excellent. Now let's move on to the next set of questions. Okay, so would you consider yourself someone who works best when you have guidelines, when you're able to kind of critically think about something and come up with your own way of doing it, when you are working within a group setting, or when you're off on your own? Okay. Perfect. You're doing excellent so far. Okay. Now, your idea of a job well done. Is it when you're solving anything like an abstract form, for example, mathematical equations, when you are solving any sort of like issue within your own character, when you are keeping a neat environment in the sense of kind of, personal hygiene. Well, not personal hygiene, but like when you're just cleaning up your, setting and whatnot, your workspace, or when you are getting to know new people within the work environment or whatever process you're engaging in, or when you are creating something out of nothing, like anything artistic, anything, sort of like creative, basically, hence why you're creating something creative, or when you are making money. Okay. Yes, as in like the actual fundamental thing that makes you happy within your job is the very prospect of making money, and like lots of money. Like it's not even just like a side note or something that you get in order to work. It's the very motivator of you going to work, basically, and it's something that makes you get a lot of job satisfaction. Okay, just to clear up the concept, because people often think, well, yeah, making money obviously makes me happy, because what's the point of working if you don't get money? But at the same time, like, it's not so much that you think of that as a sort of consequence, but you still look for a job that makes you happy. But at the same time, if the very prospect of making money makes someone happy, then they often go into positions within business, sales, which is business, but like more specifically sales, administration, anything of the sort. Okay. Now, are you more interested within the arts, within history, within math or sciences? For example, chemistry, biology. Usually people who like biology tend to dislike chemistry, and people who like chemistry tend to dislike biology. And the same concept is also present within math, where people who tend to like geometry also tend to dislike algebra, and people who like algebra tend to dislike geometry. But anything within the mathematical spheres, if you can be as specific as you want, then that will be perfect. Or within the arts, like painting, drawing, graphic design, what other things are there? Sculpting, anything within the sort. English, literature, writing. There is technical writing, and there's also creative writing. What else? Physical education, of course. And that could also include physical therapy, not just within, a school setting, you being a PE teacher. Like, there's physical therapy, there's pain management, but that's within a medical field, and that's something that you would have to take, biology and chemistry for, because that's more advanced. It's not just, physical education. What else? Although physical education, well, yeah, I guess you can still tie in physical therapy to that. But what else is there to offer? I think that kind of covers it up quite well. Or anything within zoology, even though that's still kind of a facet of anatomy, which is a facet of biology, but like zoology, would you like to work with animals and stuff like that? Like any sort of veterinarian interest, any veterinary interest? Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yes, the best way to go about these matters is to just say whatever was your favorite subject during school, and whatever made you happy, and whatever you keep up during your like personal life, like things that you would do just for fun, or not even just for fun though, because sometimes, people do enjoy their hobbies, but doing it for work would take away that like fun. But like anything that you feel more comfortable in, and something that you would actually pursue ambitiously and would like to better yourself in, that's usually the career you should go for. Because if you end up going for a career that is more safe, for example, anything within the STEM field, yeah, sure, you're gonna have a good job security, and you're gonna have a good salary rather, but you're not gonna have any advancement or job satisfaction, because that's not exactly what you would take as satisfaction for your personal life, because you're not working towards something that makes you happy. While if you were to pursue something within a field that you do like, which is often, considered a little less secure, for example, the humanities, especially the humanities, you should still pursue it, because it is something that you could actually have a shot at, considering how the drive, if there, will propel you into finding a job that you will like, and your natural drive to succeed and better yourself within that field, which it would be present already within your social life, will have you pushing yourself within whatever job you get, advancing yourself until you get to a position where you feel more comfortable and you achieve all the things that you would have achieved with going through a STEM field job, but you also are happy with the job you're working at. But that's only if you have that drive, though, because if you don't have that drive and you pursue a job within the humanities, you'll end up being, dissatisfied as well, because, or unsatisfied as well, because you'll be kind of expecting too much and not doing enough, basically, and that's exactly what we would like to avoid. So what exactly is something that would really pique your interest, or something that you know that you will work tirelessly for and have that satisfaction that you worked tirelessly for something that you liked? Okay. Yep, that is just the air conditioning system going off, so I do apologize for the inconvenience. There we go. Okay. Okay, and this one's a bit of a silly question, to be honest, but do you watch television or any sort of like entertainment, or like if you go online, what sort of videos do you think typically gain your interest? For example, do you like watching police dramas, medical dramas? Do you like watching, fashion guru videos? Do you like watching any sort of like artistic videos of how to draw and whatnot? Are you drawn to shows like Mad Men, where they exhibit copywriters, salesmen, creative directors and whatnot? Are you drawn to any sort of business movies, for example, American Psycho, Wolf on Wall Street, any sort of like, what's the other one? The one that keeps peeking inside of my head, which I can't remember the title of, is the one with Charlie Sheen, where Michael J. Fox was supposed to play the character, but Charlie Sheen replaced him once Michael J. Fox started getting his Parkinson's. But yes, so any sort of business movies or shows that you have an interest in, perhaps? Okay, let me just jump that down. Okay. So, you've done excellent in this little interview session. I could tell that you were answering the questions to the best of your ability and being as honest as you could. Now, with these questions, I would do my best to kind of find a career that would best suit you, but at the same time, I can't make that call, considering how there are nuances and details of your character and personality, your tastes and whatnot, that wouldn't really be best captured by me, considering how I am just an outsider party. So it would be ultimately up to you to decide what exactly you should pursue. But based on these questions and based on your answers, it would be best for you to reflect over what you answered and what exactly you were thinking of while I was asking these questions, and what sort of job kept kind of poking into your head constantly for you to pursue. And whatever that job was, you should give that serious consideration, because that is the one that you feel either deeply for, in the sense that you know it would be safe, or deeply for in the sense that you know you would get satisfaction from it. It would be ultimately up to you to decide which reason it is that major or career keeps bubbling inside of your head. So I'm going to be giving you this notebook for you to have. I do have plenty of notebooks, so it's completely okay for you to be taking this notebook from me. So, here you go. Take it with you. Continue writing extensively in your notebook if you find that to be something that you would use as best to kind of determine what you like. If not, try to make a collage within the journal and try to see if there's any sort of like job prospects, lists, things that you like and whatnot, and try to gauge what exactly would pique your interest in something that you know you feel a passion or a drive for. If you lack any passion or drive for anything really, then I would just simply advise you to take courses within university until you satisfy your general education requirements, and then go a little bit of soul searching to see what exactly would end up being something that you can envision yourself working as, basically with your own temperament. So that is my advice. Take it with, a grain of salt, of course. Anything that you listen to, always take it with a grain of salt. And there you go. So good luck pursuing whatever it is that you decide to pursue. If you ever need to come back and try to get a little more help from me, have more questions asked of you, then I'm always here for that. So good luck, and I hope you have a great day and a great college experience.